Greetings, anyone who's watching. Greetings, people. We the people, right? So, take a little breath, a little break from our mind, our day. Just a quick moment together. You know, in a world where people really seem lost, life seems divided, destructive, and so on, be a light in the dark. Be a example, be a role model, be someone who steadfast through the storm and still holds on to principles and values. I've been seeing some videos lately that are actually coming out from women, and I don't mean to say that surprisingly. It's just, we have different natures, men and women, and strengths generally, right? I'm generalizing. And it's really great to see some of these women coming out explaining, like, women play a lot of games, very emotionally unstable often, are often in it in a relationship for a certain reason, and it isn't usually anything that wouldn't benefit them, kind of thing, or what, this is coming from women. It's just things that I'm watching recently. It's coming across my feed. And, when I think about marriage, I think about something that I committed to. Holy matrimony is the making of a mother. Holy, whole energy matrimony, mater, mother, the making of a mother. It is a sacred joining by God. And the product of that is creation, is life, is offspring, is progeny. And so once we have a child with someone, once we have offspring with someone, we're kind of like bonded forever, naturally speaking. And so for me, it was just very unnatural to break that. And it took me quite some time to really wrap my head around that idea that I am no longer with my son's mother. And I think a lot of people get into marriage thinking it's like going to make them happy or feel fulfilled, and the truth is, from my experience, and it seems like many others, that's not the case. You need to be happy with yourself and happy inside, and your wife or your husband is not going to be just like you, isn't on the same path as you, is maybe at the core hopefully sharing some of the same principles. But you may be somebody who's a freedom fighter, who, reads the tax code, Title 26 United States Code, who studies Title 15 of the United States Code and learns about the credit laws and, Truth in Lending Act. And you may be someone who knows that we have the right to travel with or without, we don't need to get licenses necessarily. And, to expect your other half to be on board with that, it's not for everybody, However, you can still be married to someone and not have every single thing be, doing everything together. And that is definitely something that I fell short on, for sure. To me, like, marriage is a lifelong commitment. It is not gonna always be happy. And if you think that eating steak every day or eating eggs every day or eating chicken every day for the next 30 years is appealing every day, that's silly. And so one of the goals, or one of the I would say difficulties in marriage, especially these days with so many options and so much brokenness and it being so common, separation, divorce, and all that, which, I obviously have shared many times I don't agree with. Because it's become so common, a lot of people are just like, well, yeah, everybody does it. Well, if, like they used to say, if everybody jumps off a bridge, are you going to follow? And honestly, a lot of you say no, but you would, because that's what everybody else is doing. And you can't stand the, societal pressure of being different. Even though a lot of people think they are, you're not. I watch it all day long. Like, how many people, wore masks. It's bananas to me. It's absolutely crazy to me what they accomplished in 2020. Like, was dumbfounding to me. And how many people went along with it and yelled at each other about the way they think it should be, and it was insane. And so that really was quite a social experiment right in front of my eyes of how quick people conform to the group. And I mean, even just growing up in school, that was the case, right? And I literally was the one stand out, the one who didn't listen and didn't obey, and yeah, just didn't conform. Like, I was that kid that would wear like plaid pants to school and get made fun of, and then next week everybody's wearing plaid pants. I just, it takes a certain level of not giving an F about what people think, and just doing you and doing your thing and not worrying about it, while doing your best to maintain principles and values and kindness and compassion, even through people judging you and laughing at you and whatever. And so back to when it comes to marriage, when you get to those spaces of unhappiness, you can't fall to temptation because an apple walks by and gets you excited and looks at you the right way or certain way and makes you feel those butterflies. Like this lady I was watching today, she's like, marriage begins when the butterflies go away, when that romantic initial, like, running around together, traveling, all that stuff, like that's when the real love, the real unconditional, deeper stuff begins. And there's this saying, don't quit before the miracle, and I've shared it before, and it's exactly what I think happened in my marriage. Like, it just got to that space of like complacency, boringness, quote unquote unhappiness or whatever, and instead of like digging deeper and getting to that next level, my other half, my partner, my wife, my spouse, whatever you want to call that, decided to go, and it was, I just talked to my ex-mother-in-law, and it's like was talking to this guy while we were together, and met him, of course, as I said, while we were together. And it's like, I'm not sharing that to bash or badmouth, or I'm sharing that to say, like, of course, during my marriage, I was approached by different women, and it was like a no-brainer to me. There was no thought about it. I was committed to my wife and my son. Now I'm specifically committed to my son, and so I do the same thing. I'm just committed to something right now, and it would be nice to see more people really with that mentality, like it used to be the old days, where you just head down at the grindstone, like you made a commitment and now you're going to see it through and see it out. And if you're not happy, it's because you're not making it happy. If you're bored, it's because you're boring, right? So it's like when we start taking responsibility and looking in the mirror, things change. And when we are willing to work at things, they're more valuable. Things are not supposed, valuable stuff isn't generally gotten easy. And so that's why a lot of us have these surface, substanceless, lack of substance relationships, where it's like as soon as it gets a little rough, we leave, and we never get to the substance level, to the deeper level, to true loyalty and value and honesty, and doing the work to get to that deeper sense of joy and fulfillment, which more than ever, people are on medications, are depressed, are not feeling fulfilled in their life. And I think a lot of it is due to not sticking it out with someone you had kids with, that you chose to get married to, that you chose to make that commitment, that sacrifice. So anyways, that's what I wanted to get into today, was marriage is not going to be happy and fun and roses for all the time, every time. That's part of the game, is sticking it out through those tough times, through the fourth quarter, or whatever analogy you want to use. And not needing your spouse to be like you in every single way, or fight the same fights. And yes, those things would be nice, and I'm not saying that that's not ideal. I just am finding some relationships I come across that work are the man and the woman are really accepting of each other's journeys more. And like, I definitely could have done better at that for sure, like I said. So if you're married and you're having a hard time, remember that's part of the deal, and do your best to stay communicating and stay kind and stay compassionate and stay patient, and know that too this too shall pass. And also I wanted to share, I've been doing mindfulness, still doing the mindfulness, and it teaches us to just be with whatever is, and, know that you're not your thoughts. And I'll get into this more in another video, but it's just something that I think is really, really valuable. So if you are struggling, stressing, unhappy with what, how things are going or whatever, mindfulness really, like, it's not just meditation, it's not just yoga, it's not just Tai Chi or Qigong, which, my son and I do daily, a couple times a day, actually, at this point. It is being present with that. And if something hurts, you're focused on that, you're accepting of that, you're observant of that as a witness. You detach from your body, from your thoughts, therefore from the suffering. Like, you feel the pain, but you don't need to focus on it and suffer more, right? So you accept it as it is, and it really changes everything. It's really amazing, and I highly recommend it. And if you ever are interested in learning about that, or learning about trusts, or learning about how to operate in commerce in certain ways that offer a little more privacy or less liability, if you want to just have somebody to talk to, if you want to discuss certain products that I make and you getting some of them, like toothpaste or silver or any of these different products, thelivingmysterychurch.org. I also want to thank one of my friends, Marty Leeds, from the Gnostic Church and Academy of Lord Jesus Christ. He's got a lot of followers, and he just advertised my church on his channel, and I really appreciate that. It was a very big surprise and warmed my heart. It shows me that I'm really becoming the man that I want to be, and really doing my best to be there for others, of service, and help be just even a little bit better of a part of this world. Honorable, authentic, kind, compassionate, patient, loving. So thelivingmysterychurch.org. Feel free to reach out, make an appointment, make a donation. If you got anything out of this, any amount helps. So just support me, support my son, support our homeschool, support our international, traveling, and so on. We appreciate it. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Peace.